I don't want people to get it misconstrued or whatever the case may be. He's a hell of a fighter, hell of an IQ, great punching power, good speed, and really good boxing ability. A lot of people underrate that.
Hold on to the bed.
That lawnmower, that's it.
And Gervonta does have a very athletic speed, quick reflex style. So you've got to sort of pressure intelligently. But while I have said in the past, and I still believe this, that Roach doesn't have that special thing, like where he's got really fast hands or really powerful.
New intense training footage of Gervonta Davis has recently come out ahead of his rematch with Lamont Roach. After watching it, Roach admitted he now knows he'll have to push himself much harder this time around. He recognized that Gervonta looked sharp, still very dangerous, and reminded everyone that it was Gervonta who landed the biggest punch in their first fight. Roach reflected, asking himself, how many rematches have I had to fight like this?
What do you have to do to create enough separation where this don't happen again?
Whew, that's a good question. It's gonna be based on my training camp. I have to push myself a little harder. If that didn't get me the win, and I have room. I definitely have room. I'm not gonna lie, I have room.
You believe you fought the best Gervonta, or do you think he got some more gears?
100% for a fact. I think he might have some more gears, but I fought the best Gervonta that night. I don't want people to get it misconstrued or whatever the case may be. He's a hell of a fighter, hell of an IQ, great punching power, good speed, and really good boxing ability. A lot of people underrate that. Don't think because of what I did, y'all think y'all can just go in there and think y'all can have the same night, you know what I'm saying, or do the same thing. He still will go upside your head and crack you, and you know what I'm saying, you might end up on the floor. Everybody not built the same, and that's what people get it messed up. He did a whole lot of things that was good in that fight, a whole lot, and I'm telling you right now, if he wasn't as good of a fighter as he was, that would have been, you know what I'm saying? I would have steamrolled. Don't get that misconstrued. He's still the guy he is. Just ran into a guy that's on the same level.
Gervonta Davis is in serious training mode for this upcoming rematch. He's locked in, motivated to shut down critics and show everyone that he's still one of the best in the sport. Focused and disciplined, Gervonta is working harder than ever, fixing past mistakes and preparing to deliver performance that removes any doubt about who the superior fighter is.
That lawnmower, that's it. Start that motherfucker lawnmower.
I made the decision to train in DC because, you know, I haven't been in the coldness in a minute. I haven't even trained in the coldness in a minute, so I feel as though this will help me. I'm from Baltimore. He's not from DC. That's what I learned. I thought he was from DC too.
This time, Gervonta isn't leaving anything to chance. His training camp is all business in newly released footage. He's seen gliding effortlessly through sparring with crisp footwork and precise movements. His reflexes are sharp, and it's clear he's not just going through routines. Every move has a purpose. The last fight taught him that underestimating Roach is risky, so now he's pushing to reach a whole new level. It's not just skill. Gervonta is bringing serious intensity too. In one clip, he's seen pounding the heavy bag with explosive power. These aren't just practice punches. They're full of determination. You can tell this is personal for him. The first fight left too many questions and critics had plenty to say. This time, Gervonta isn't just preparing to win. He wants to dominate, and his training shows it.
Renowned
Well Well-known boxing analyst Teddy Atlas has praised Davis's unique talent. He pointed out how Gervonta stays calm and patient in the ring, never rushing, never forcing. Instead, he studies his opponent, then strikes with precision what sets Gervonta apart. Atlas says is his versatility. He can fight from close range, mid-range, or the outside, and has knockout power that can end any fight instantly. That kind of unpredictability makes him a nightmare to prepare for. When he's focused, Atlas believes Davis is one of the most complete fighters out there.
Try to get to us, but we're going to frustrate him. He doesn't get frustrated. He takes his time. He's deliberate. You know, a lot of times at the beginning, people thought he was just a seek and destroy missile. They thought he was just a guy that got to you. And they thought that he would get over anxious. He don't get over anxious. He takes his time. He slowly crosses closes those gaps. You know, inch by inch, step by step. And
even after the controversial draw in Davis's first match with Roach rally, Romero remains fully confident in Tank. He called the result just a bad night and reminded everyone that one-off performance doesn't erase Davis's whole career in Romero's eyes. Gervonta's skill set, track record, and knockout power still put him above the rest of the division. With the rematch coming up, Romero believes Davis will bounce back and prove why he's still among boxing.
People want to discredit Tank. He's still a pound-for-pound fighter.
Yeah. What do you think about that fight that happened? You thought it was just an off night, or?
Everybody has an off night. Everybody has an off night. Shit, I had a night with Cruz. Everyone has a night. It's boxing.
You want to run that back with Cruz or what?
Maybe down the line.
One major thing that separates Gervonta Davis from many other fighters is his raw knockout power. While some boxers rely on high volume or slick technique, Davis can end a fight with single punch, and he doesn't need to chase the action once he settles into his rhythm. That power becomes dangerous on the other hand. While Roach showed solid technique and composure in her first fight, he lacks that one-shot finishing ability. Many believe that if Davis gets into his groove in a rematch, Roach won't be able to withstand the pressure, and it might not go the distance.
Because Gervonta Davis is a puncher, so the extra aggression, you have to manipulate it little by little. You know, you have to instigate the extra aggression little by little. You have to get your timing in there. You have to get
my pushback.
And also, this is a southpaw. A southpaw sometimes takes a round or two extra to sort of get their timing, get your distances, because every southpaw is a little bit different. Right now, granted, they know each other, they fought in the amateurs, but it's still a lot of years away. And Gervonta does have a very athletic, speed, quick reflex style. So you've got to sort of pressure intelligently. But while I have said in the past, and I still believe this, that Roach doesn't have that special thing like where he's got really fast hands or a really powerful punch, he still has what I also said in the past, a very good IQ. He's very well trained and very intelligent. His thought process in the ring has a great sense of positioning and a great sense of understanding of where he is in the ring and how to react off that. Could he be a little aggressive, more aggressive? Sure, but you got to keep in mind that you're fighting a puncher who's coming from the southpaw stance and coming from the southpaw athletic angle. Personally, me, especially knowing what has been said about Gervonta behind the scenes for years that nobody brings out, and it kind of brings to light why they keep matching him with 15 and 20 to 1 underdogs. There is a rumor that behind the scenes, the Gervonta, there's a lot of bitch in him. There's a lot of front runner in him. If you push him, he will break, he will fold. It starts to add up because Lamont is from the D.C. area. They kind of know this. They grew up around him. They fought in the amateurs.
His father, who's his coach, has coached Gervonta in fights.
So that thing sort of comes to light where it's been held back from the public with the limited opposition level that Gervonta's fought more.
Boxer Giron has shared his thoughts on the first fight, saying that even though Davis didn't completely control the bout, he was strong in the early rounds, and it's reminded fans that Davis landed solid shots and set the pace early on. He also noted that more people talked about Davis's image after the fight than his actual performance. This rematch is Gervonta's chance to silence the noise and remind everyone of his true level for Davis facing. Lamont Roach again isn't just about settling a score. It's personal. That controversial draw hit his pride and raised questions about where he stands among boxing's best. He knows his reputation took a hit, and now he's training with a sense of mission, not just motivation.
Gervonta Davis, draw with Lamont Roach.
people looking at it as controversial because of the whole knee. What'd you think of the fight?
It was a great fight. I had it 7-5 Tank, or you can make it the draw. But I feel like Lamont, he did good. He did a great job, actually. I just don't think he did enough to pull it off. And I feel like people was overlooking what Tank was doing in the first 5-6 rounds. He was boxing and frustrating him a little bit. But Lamont, like I said before, Lamont did a great job.
Yeah, some people had it Tank, some people had it draw, some people had it Lamont. Do you think Tank gets a lot of criticism for not knocking Lamont out and Lamont not being a big name, so they overblow it?
I think so, yeah, and I feel like people just don't like Tank to a point where any little thing, just because he ain't knock him out, he probably feel like that he lost and he didn't, or it was a draw. I feel like Tank was doing a lot of smart things in the beginning, moving a little bit too much, but I feel like he was still frustrating him and things like that. And I think Tank did a good job. He looked sharp to me. I don't know. People just be talking. At the end of the day, you can't please everybody.
Gervonta isn't just out to beat Roach. He wants to dominate. He's on a mission to send a clear message and take back the respect he feels he lost for him. This fight is about legacy redemption and proving he's still at the top of the sport.
We got to talk about it. So Tank officially came out and says that he wants to put this rematch as early as May. Now, if that were to happen, Lamont Roach gets a second time to prove himself. Now, in my personal opinion, his stock has already risen. He is already notable. The fact that he went toe-to-toe with Tank on a decision that ended in a draw, whether he loses this second fight or not won't even matter. Because he's directly in line to go against the Keyshawn Davis, the Shakur Stevensons, and etc., the Devin Haney's, and etc. I can see him moving up and going against Devin Haney or Ryan Garcia or somebody like that. So many people to fight. Lamont Roach has definitely proven himself. But let's talk about something else. And that is the hairstylist situation. In my humble opinion, I believe she should have been quiet. As a hairstylist, there was nothing for you to say. No fan in boxing was going to look at them like, I don't want her braiding my hair. No one would have said that. But she hurt herself when she came out and publicly made multiple claims, got all these receipts that no one needed, no one asked for, saying, oh, this had no grease or oil in it. No one cares. Nobody even believes it. Sometimes it's best to remain quiet. But you guys let me know in the comments. Should she have remained quiet, or should she have did what she did, which is spoke up? You let me know.
Lopez pointed out that Davis seemed to lose support from parts of the boxing world. The draw led some to doubt him, questioning if he was slipping. Now Davis isn't just fighting Roach. He's fighting public perception. This rematch is a chance for him to flip that narrative and win back the fans.
I know a lot of people, look what they did with Gervonta too. I want everybody, all these young fighters that are listening to this, and you could clip this. It's a short part right here.
I got you.
To Ryan could clip this right here. To all you young fighters, look at the amount of love they were giving and sharing to Gervonta Tank Davis prior to the fight. Look at what all the reporters were doing prior to the fight. Look how they were all laughing at all his jokes prior to his fight against Lamont Roach. After the fight, look how many were waiting to down this man. Down him. See, I'm going to talk my smack with Tank, but that's because I want to fight him. That's me. I can say that. But I just want all you young fighters to really look about it. They don't care about us.
Yeah.
They won't ever care about us. When you're winning, they're going to be there. But they're waiting for any moment to slip up. Just a man, even a draw, look how much hate he got out of it.
Yeah, not to get deep, but, you know, it's a part of our psychology. We have to learn how to care about other people. You know what I mean?
That first matchup with Roach turned out to be one of the toughest fights of Davis's career. Roach didn't just hang in there. He competed at a very high level and gave Davis some real problems. Especially with his timing and range, the rematch will answer a big question. Can Davis adapt and overcome? Or does Roach just have his number one way or another? It's a test of both skill and resilience.
About a fight that, you know, we just had with Gervonta Tank Davis versus Lamont Roach. My message to Tank after that fight, you know, it was given a draw. A lot of controversy around Tank taking a knee due to hairband in his face or his eyes, so on, and burning his eyes. And you know, in my opinion, it was a competitive fight. The judges judged it as a draw. A lot of people saying it was rigged, all these different things, so forth and so on. Whatever it may be. The fight is.
Davis's trainer revealed that they went into the first fight fully aware of what Roach could do. Their game plan was intentional, even though it didn't play out the way they wanted. Surprisingly, the team might not make major changes this time. Instead, they're focused on refining and better executing their original strategy that shows they still believe in the plan. They just want to do it right this time.
And Tank. What do you think the biggest surprise was in the fight?
It wasn't a surprise because we know Roach. It wasn't a surprise. Roach can fight. A lot of people think because a person is not popular, that they don't exist. There's fighters out there that can rumble. They just got to get the opportunity, you know?
Speaking of rematches, Jalil Hackett is getting his opportunity again to fight the guy that he had a controversial loss to. It'll be happening in Florida, I think, next week?
March 15th, I think.
Let's talk about the
I'm rocking a major shirt now.
Major.
Yes, sir.
Tell me, how's that rematch look like, and then what's the difference makers coming into this fight?
The first fight, I thought, you know, everybody thought Jalil won. We just got to turn, you know, hit the gears a little harder. You know, we ain't really got to change too much. Just got to put the icing on the cake, you know? Put the icing on the cake this time, that's all. He did enough to win the last fight, but we was in somebody else's territory, you know?
This time around, being in Florida, do you feel like it's a mutual zone?
Yeah. It's more of an even playing field in Florida.
Okay. Do you feel like he needs a stoppage to win the fight due to what happened the first time?
Not necessarily a stoppage is good, but not necessarily.
Garcia gave his perspective and suggested that Davis might have been mentally off in the first fight. He mentioned that the absence of Davis's longtime trainer, Calvin Ford, may have thrown off his rhythm and preparation. Garcia also hinted that outside the ring issues could have distracted Davis. For the rematch, Gervonta will need to be fully locked in both mentally and physically to get back to his top form.
I'd say Tank won. There's no way.
Do you think that he's diminished in some way, or do you think that just mentally he just wasn't there for the fight?
Well, a little bit of both. You know, his age is catching up to him. You know, his legs aren't there as he used to be. And, you know, he switched his trainer, you know. Could be another factor.
With Barry Hunter being the head trainer and Coach Calvin being outside.
Yeah, but he snapped at Calvin too. So that's, you know, there was something going on. I really don't know, and I couldn't really speculate on that because I don't know. But I know that something was bothering Tank because Tank is a good fighter and he's out to hurt you, you know. But hey, you know, Lamont Roach stood his ground, and he did a great job.
One of the most talked about moments in the first fight happened in round 9 when Davis went down on one knee, and the referee didn't rule it. A knockdown that moment has sparked debate ever since, with many arguing it should have changed the scoring. It's added fuel to the fire leading into the rematch, as fans and analysts alike are calling for a clear controversy-free result. This time, this rematch could finally settle the score once and for all.
All right, man. Listen, it's been a couple of days since that Lamont Roach versus Gervonta Tank Davis fight. And look, you fooled me once, okay? I'm going to let y'all get that. Y'all got that. But come on, man. This was a money fight, clearly, and also clearly Tank lost. I mean, there's no mistaken identity that Roach landed more punches, Tank had a higher percentage. But when we look at the punches and the punching power, it was Lamont Roach 8 rounds to 4. And then if you take into consideration that Tank took that knee, which count as a knockdown, the ref even started counting. I mean, there's nothing even to debate here. If they were tied without them even counting that, if you supposed to have counted that part, he would have actually lost the fight. it's a win for Lamont Roach. Get your bag. Go out there and say you the only person that tied with Tank Davis. But, man, if y'all fight, y'all better fight for real. Because this, be real, man.
That's it for today. Wraps it up for today's video. Thanks for watching and stay tuned for more updates as a rematch draws closer.